Very good morning, students. I hope everyone is fine. Now let's discuss about your new chapter, that is getting to know plants. Okay, students. Now let's discuss about getting to know plants. Let's start. You know on the basis of plants, they are categorized into two: flowering plants and non-flowering plants. In this case, you have to study about the flowering plants. Flowering plants are those which generally bear flowers, are known as flowering plants. Means their body are classified into or divided into root, stem, leaf, and bear flowers and fruits. Basically, it means it will have shoot system and a root system. Herbs uh, herbs are those plants which are green and generally soft, which are very tender. They can be broken easily. That is known as generally herbs. Like for example, coriander. Okay, this is basically what herb. Next is shrub. Some plants have branches which are arising from the base of the stem, means it will be harder as compared to the herbs. Okay, this is known as the shrub, means it will attain a general height. Next is a trees. Trees will attain a very high, means it will be a several meter height, and it will have a hard and a thick stem. They have a branch arising from upper part of a stem and basically known as trees. Okay. See, on the basis of the types of plant, generally two types of plant are seen. First is climber and second is creeper. Climber plants are those which are basically weak and soft stem. They need support to stand and grow straight. That is known as climber. Like for example, your pea plant, money plant. These are basically what? These are basically climbers. And creepers are those plants which have a soft green stem. They are basically known as creepers. The best example is pumpkin and watermelon. Okay. Now the very first and the most important part, that is the stem. You know, the stem is the part of the plant seen above the ground, and it generally what? It bears the leaf, flowers, and fruits of a plant. And one major character one major characteristic is that it is basically phototropic. It means it will always grow towards the light. Okay, this is the major characteristic of the stem. And stem has nodes separated by internodes. See, on the node portion, the leaf, fruit, and flower generally originate. And the distance between the two nodes, basically the gap between the two nodes, that is known as internode. Okay. Okay. See, sometimes stems are modified to perform some other function also. Like for example, in some desertic plant, if we talk about some desertic plant, they are basically what? They are reduced to spines, like in thorny portion. Okay. This basically what it will do. It will generally protect the plant from what excess water transpiration, and also for the process of the photosynthesis. Okay. And sometimes it act as a supporting system. Okay. Sometimes stems are what? They are basically weak, so they twine around the other plant to grow, so that is for the supporting purpose also. Okay. Second foremost part is leaf. Leaf is the very important part of the plant because it helps in the process of photosynthesis. Okay. Leaf generally varies in color, in their shape, in their size. Okay. And basically there are different part of the leaf. First is the midrib, second is the vein, and third is the leaf blade or leaf lamina. Okay. Now let's discuss about the midrib. Okay, and after that we will discuss about the further. Okay, what is a midrib? You know, midrib is a thick stalk-like portion which generally keep the leaf very stiff and flat and prevent it from drooping. That is basically what is known as midrib. Okay. Second is the veins. Veins are what? Veins are basically if we see our hands, generally what, the veins are distributed all through our the hand system. Okay, so like in case of plant also, the leaf has very fine tubules like structure that is basically known as veins. And like in, if we talk about our system, the veins are for what, transportation of blood and all nutrients. So in case of plant also, the veins are for transportation purpose. And third is the leaf blade or lamina. You know, lamina is basically the broad green part of the leaf. This is known as lamina. Okay. Now let's see about the structure of leaf. If we modify it, see, this is a node, petiole portion, leaf lamina, stem, stipule, midrib, vein, and leaf blade. Okay, you can see that this leaf base, it is the part where leaf attached to the stem. Okay, this is known as the leaf base. Petiole is a long thin stalk that links the leaf blade to the stem. Lamina, I have told you lamina. What is lamina, students? Lamina is a broad green part of the leaf that is known as the lamina. Okay. Next is type of leaves. On the basis of the origination of the petiole, they are basically classified into two: simple leaf and compound leaf. Simple leaf means when a single lamina is connected to the main stem by a petiole, that is known as simple leaf, like in case of what we say in guava plants. Okay, and compound leaf is a leaf which is made up of two or more leaflets, that is known as compound leaf, like in case of neem plants. If you see the neem, if you see the neem, what we say neem leaf, what has it has generally very small leaflets now, that is basically what, a compound leaf. Okay, you know, plant have to adapt various modifications. Okay, why? Because they have to survive in various type of environment, sometimes very hot, sometimes very cold. So they are basically what happens, they modify. Okay, and the first modification is basically leaf tendril. You know, leaf tendril exists in plant with weak stem. Okay, you know, the curly portion, the leaf when get curly, it is generally a thread like structure which is generally curly, and that is known as tendrils. Okay, these tendrils climb a nearby stick or a wall and provide support to the plant. Okay. Next is the leaf spine. You know, sometimes leaf are modified into a needle-like structure. Why? Why they are such? Because for the two purposes. First is for the defense purpose, and second foremost is to reduce the excess water loss, that is transpiration. Like in case of opuntia, the leaves are modified into a spines. Okay, you know, like in case our body, I have told you that there are various veins and arteries are arranged now. So in plants also there is the arrangement of fine tubules like structure, and this is known as the venation. Basically, venation are of two types: reticulate venation and a parallel venation. In a reticulate venation, the veinlets are randomly arranged and form a complex network of veinlets, that is known as reticulate venation. Like if we see in case of our hands, the veins are basically what? They are not uniform. They are ununiform, distributed unevenly. That is known as reticulate venation. And in parallel venation, these veinlets run parallel to each other, that is known as parallel venation. Like for, see na, there is no intersection, and in reticulate there is an intersection between the veins. And if we talk about the parallel venation, there is no intersection. Okay, like the platform. Okay. Next is the roots. Roots are the major underground part of the plant. Means this is geotropic. It attracts towards the gravity. Okay. And they have a major function to absorb water and minerals from the soil, and they hold the soil firmly to keep the plant upright. And some roots store food and become plump, like for example radish, carrot. These are basically what? The modification of roots. Okay. And on the basis, if we have to study the structure of root, first is the root hair. The fine hair like structure on the branches of root are generally known as root hairs. And lateral roots are what? Lateral roots are the very fine thread like structure. Okay, very smaller roots are generally known as lateral roots. And it is very common that plants having leaves with reticulate venation have taproot, and plants having leaves with parallel venation have fibrous root. Now this time I will explain you what is fibrous root and a taproot. Fibrous root is what? See, if a plant consists of a roots which are very, what we say, very complex, very thread like structure are appearing on the roots, that is known as the fibrous root. Okay, so that parallel venation plants will have a very complex root. And if we talk about the reticulate venation leaf, okay, plants, reticulate venation plants, they will have a simple taproot. Means a thick root will appear, no lateral roots will appear on that portion. Okay. Okay, function of roots. See, first function is anchoring. Roots are the reason plants remain upright to the ground. Okay, they support the plant body to stand erect. And second is the absorption. Generally, root absorbs various type of water and dissolve minerals from the soil, and after that, when it is get absorbed, it goes back to the what? To the leaves, and from there the leaves do the process of photosynthesis.